Call halal, Yahawah, Bahashem, Yahawashi. All praises to the Most High, Yahawah, in the name of Yahawashi. This is a continuation on the previous lesson where we examined the account in Matthew 17 of the Messiah healing a boy that was afflicted with devils, and through the Spirit some type of parasitic organism that was located within his brain. What I wanted to do was examine the words that were used and also look at some of the other accounts within Mark and Luke, because those provide additional information that I think will be useful in a broader context for understanding the connection between parasitic organisms that reside in the human body as well as the demonic, but what the Bible describes as devil-ish activity of evil spirits, devils, deceiving spirits. And if there's time, take a look at news articles that discuss cases of people that have been afflicted with epilepsy and other conditions from parasites, most of which are tapeworms in these news articles that reside in people's brain. Let's take a look at the word parasite. This is a great resource for understanding the meaning of words. It sounds very basic and simple, but what I've found very useful is oftentimes how we understand the meaning of words versus how they may have been used at a different point in time is very helpful and provides further understanding and edification. Of course, when the King James Bible was translated, that was hundreds of years ago, and over time the meaning of words shifts, and so we can find ourselves lacking a complete understanding of words that were used in the translation, which already is a translation which implies a degree of loss in understanding already. So to seek to rectify that, let's take a look at the first word here, which is parasite. 1530s, perhaps that's when it began usage in English. A hanger-on, a toady person who lives on others. There's a biblical nation that corresponds to that. From Middle French, parasite, 16th century, or directly from Latin parasitus, toady, sponger. Now, this is really directly related to a person here. And directly from Greek, parasitos, one who lives at another's expense, person who eats at the table of another, which is very true in the case of tapeworm parasites. From noun, use of an adjective meaning feeling, feeding beside, from para, beside. Para meaning beside, cetos meaning food, of unknown origin, cetos. Scientific meaning, animal or plant that lives on others, is first recorded in the 1640s, implied in parasitical. Interesting. So it looks like parasite was originally used as a description or metaphor, in this case, first, before the scientific meaning came around. I find that very interesting. The next word, devil. Old English, diofol. Interesting. I know V wasn't was a sound, was a consonant that came around later in terms of the development of languages. A devil, I'll have to do a lesson on that. Language, sounds. A devil, a subordinate evil spirit afflicting humans, also in Christian theology. That's definitely misleading. In the Bible, the devil, powerful spirit of evil, otherwise known as Satan. No, that's not correct. From late Latin, diabolus, also the source of Italian diavolo, French diable, Spanish diablo, German. Okay, it goes more into these languages. The late Latin word is from ecclesiastical Greek diabolos, which in Jewish and Christian use, it's slightly more accurate, but it's still, this is from the Israelites' holy scriptures, right? This is where King James Bible translated its words from, which in Jewish and Christian use was the devil, Satan. And no, that's still not true, right? There's many different types of devils. Satan is one of them, and which in general use meant accuser, slanderer. Okay, here we go. Now this is more relevant. Thus, it was a scriptural loan translation of Hebrew. Okay, there we go. Now this is starting to make more sense. It is an agent noun from Greek, to slander, attack, literally to throw across. Okay. This is interesting. Meaning false god, heathen god, is from the 12th century sense of diabolical person, resembling a devil or demon in character. Okay, I would agree with that. Meaning sand spout, dust storm. It's from the 18th century. Excuse me, the 19th century. I read some really interesting literature on sand spouts and dust storms. I'll have to come back to that at another time. think it would be quite edifying. So we see here how the word is used. Most relevant is accuser, slanderer, a subordinate evil spirit afflicting humans. And in terms of the discussion today, this is how I'm using the word. Let's take a look at demonic, because oftentimes when people are describing evil spirit activity, they'll say demonic, although that word does not appear in the Bible. Demonic, also daemon, 1600s, 17th century. Devilish, of the nature of or pertaining to a demon. Devilish. And the final word, demon. 12th century, an evil spirit, malignant supernatural being, an incubus, a devil. Okay, so I know that I've used the word demon or demonic previously, and this is the sense that I'm using it in. Let's see what else it says here. Deity, divine power, lesser guide, guiding spirit. Sure. As far as the scripture goes to describe devils, these are all relevant, especially in the context of the heathen nations, sometimes including souls of the dead. The malignant sense is because the Greek word was used with daemonion. In Christian Greek translations in the Vulgate for God of the heathen idol. Right, certainly. And also for unclean spirit, devil. The usual ancient Greek sense, supernatural agent or intelligence. Intelligence, I think that's very relevant to our conversation. Lower than a god, ministering spirit, is attested in English from 1560s. Intelligence is very relevant to this discussion because the evil spirits are intelligences, and at the same time, parasites are as well. People may think that it's nothing more than a worm or hundreds or thousands of worms residing in a human body, but there is clearly an intelligence in terms of the organizational ability of parasites in the human body to organize the breaking down and destruction and suppression of the human immune system, not to be underestimated by any means, and I can certainly attest to that personally. So let's take a look at the account in Mark. This is Mark chapter 9, verse 14. And when he came to his disciples, he saw a great multitude about them, and the scribes questioning with them. And straightway all the people, when they beheld him, were greatly amazed, and running to him saluted him. And he asked the scribes, What question ye with them?